For more reaction, Salman Al-Ansari joins me now from Riyadh. He's a writer and political commentator. Good to speak to you. So one by one, Arab nations have cut diplomatic ties with Qatar and cut off air and sea traffic. I mean, what does this all mean?
Thank you, Aisha, and hi to all the viewers of TRT World around the globe. It actually means a lot. It means that Saudi Arabia and most of the regional players here in the region are actually fed up with previous practices of the Qatari government, because you cannot be a partner on combating terrorism while you are actually supporting terrorism financially, while you are actually disturbing the peace in the region, while you are actually trying your best to create some kind of chaotic situations within the Middle East. So we all know that Qatar has been funding JFS, which used to be called Jabhat al-Nusra in Syria, which is affiliated to Al-Qaeda. We all know that Qatar has been supporting Fajr militia, Fajr Libya militia in Libya, and they have been granting them cash and weapons to basically not make Libya to be having a smooth political transition. At the same time, we all know that the Qatari government, through its media wings, are actually trying their best to basically export some kind of propagandas about the Middle East, to try their best to basically make the nations and the people in the region to be following the Muslim Brotherhood, the radical Muslim Brotherhood branch. So those things cannot be tolerated. The Ministry of International Affairs in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia said it clearly, that they have complete evidences that Qatar has also been part of the issue in Yemen by being trying to show that they are actually in solidarity with GCC, but at the same time they are actually dealing with the Houthis and giving them financial support. So at the same time, I think specifically after Riyadh summit, when the King of Saudi Arabia has basically made it so clear with more than 50 Muslim leaders and with President Trump, they made it so clear that they will be fighting all terrorism by all means. Any government that supports terrorism, any government that supports or finance any terrorist would be actually accountable. So I think it's very normal that Saudi Arabia used its absolute right, including Bahrain and UAE and Egypt, to basically cut all the diplomatic relationship with Qatar, and to wait until we see if there is a new Qatar that would emerge, that a new Qatar that would follow the Accord of 2014, Riyadh Accord, which said it clearly that all the GCC nations should never be interfering in the other GCC countries' affairs, that they should be banning the Muslim Brotherhood. They should not
as you mentioned, if this is all about support of terrorism, then this could be also referred to US supporting YPG, isn't it?
I'm actually speaking here of the case of Qatar. Another case would be different. What I'm trying to say is, we all know that terrorism is a global phenomenon. We are anti-terrorism by all means. Any non-state actor should be put accountable. Any person or a government that supports non-state actors should be accountable. So that's what we are trying to do with the Qatari government. We think that the Qatari government has an issue of its political philosophy. We all know that they have had 10 coups within 50 years. So we are speaking of an average of a coup, an internal coup within the political fabric in Qatar in every 10 years. So
and
right
also
now they are
we
actually
are talking about one of the richest countries per capita. So, I mean, considering all this, we haven't had a response yet from Qatar, but what will the implications be for the region? Briefly, please.
I think the implications will be positive, because we will name the things by their names. Because we cannot have this duality in the Qatari regime. We cannot have this duality of dealing with countries that support non-state actors in the region. We cannot deal with countries that claim to be a partner on combating terrorism while they are actually financing Al-Qaeda affiliated groups and the Muslim Brotherhood and the Houthis. We cannot allow that to happen. Saudi Arabia is a country that has been waiting for so long just to make the Qatari basically get back to their mind that they should be actually stopping all their support. We all know that the Treasury Department in 2014 basically put two names that are actually living in Qatar, Qatari citizens that are up till now living in Qatar and having complete freedom to do whatever they want, even though they were actually supporting Al-Qaeda operatives in the world. So we cannot have this kind of duality anymore. We should be actually confronting the evil of terrorism. By all means, we should be united to basically combat terrorism. If Qatar doesn't want this unity to combat terrorism, then it's a problem. It's not our problem.
Well, we'll be waiting for a response there from Qatar. Thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Salman Al-Ansari there from Riyadh.